So you want to carry your bad teams in Marvel Rivals? Well, I hear you, and I'm going to show you how. Now, I'm going to give you some tips that are really going to instantly improve your gameplay, and it'll take you to the next level as long as you have an open mind and you're ready to listen and you're ready to learn. So the main thing I need to tell you guys before we get into it is these are my credentials. Now, I never really played Overwatch beforehand. I have handful of experience with friends, but I never played it competitively. But as you can see here, I'm Grandmaster. And within the last 25 matches, I have a 70 win rate with a 6.3 KDA. My win rate overall is only 50.4, but that's because, every day I'm learning, I'm playing, I'm learning how to get better at the game. And I'm also playing with friends. I'm not like doing a super professional 6-stack, but I'm just, playing here and there with friends, very casual player. And not all my friends are that good. So I'm not trying to blame anyone else for my losses, but as you can see, we're all learning, we're all stepping it up as we play. So I thought I have a very good insight to help new players who didn't really play Overwatch get into this game. And Marvel Rivals has brought a lot of people who didn't play games like Overwatch into the game series because Marvel is very popular. And here's some more statistics. This is my other account, LNV. Basically, this is an account I just leveled up and tried a little try hard on this account, played some Storm, and I went from Bronze 3 to Gold 2 in a day. We didn't drop a loss until here. We started trolling. But so as you can see, I have pretty good experience in getting Grandmaster, and my main role is Strategist, and pretty good experience in getting out of Bronze. So if you're stuck in Bronze, Silver, or Gold, or Platinum, this is a great video for you. And if you're ranked higher than me and you think any of my tips are helpful, please support me in the comments. And if you think it's just plain out wrong, please argue with me in the comments. I love to argue with people. So first tip is you need to look at your KDA. So in terms of KDA in Marvel Rivals, I would say the strategist should always have the highest KDA. Almost always have the highest KDA. Then it goes DPS and then it goes tank. Now, it's a bit obvious why that is so, but either way, no matter what role you are, if your KDA is a 2 or below on average, even like 2.5 and below, you're doing something wrong and you need to work on it and get your KDA higher. Because this game, it takes 8 seconds to respawn, and it takes between 8 more to 25 more to walk back to point, and that's a lot of seconds that your team is in a fight without you. So if you haven't gotten a pick or they didn't get a pick, then their game is a lot harder for them. And this game is about pushing the point. It's not about getting kills. Okay. First things first, fix your KDA. Now, this kind of segues into if you are a DPS or tank main and you're complaining about heals, I'm telling you, in probably 80% of the games where you complain about heals, you're doing something wrong. Okay. For example, we had this game. Where is it? I think it was this one. We had this game where this Black Panther was complaining about heals the whole game, right? And at one point, he was 20 and 20. So I said in voice chat, hey, bro, you better step it the heck up or you're getting flamed, because it is not the healer's fault. Our healer, I'm a healer main, and then our other healer was actually pretty decent, and we were doing very good. We had really low deaths. As you can see here, I carried the game by only having 3 deaths, which means I was alive for so much longer to create pressure on the map to either create openings for my teams to get picks or to save them in very clutch scenarios. And our Black Panther was not cutting it. As you can see, he has 15 deaths, the most deaths in the game, and he only had 14 final hits, which is not too good. So basically, I want to tell you, KDA is king in this game. That's point number 1. KDA is king. If you have a below, like sub 2.5 KDA, you need to work on it. As you can see here, my Vanguard is not too good. I only have 8 games and I have a 2.3 KDA. I don't know how to play Vanguard, so I'm admitting that fact. But yeah, so work on your KDA. Now, so in order to work on your KDA, this kind of segues into point 2. To work on your KDA, I think everyone should play every role. And not only should they play every role, but they should play a lot of every role. And the first role I suggest everyone to learn is Strategist. Now, the reason everyone should learn Strategist is because, one, it is the strongest in this meta. It is very good, mainly because they're ultimates, but it also is very good because you are the backbone of your team. The whole point of this game is to get picks so you can move an objective or capture an objective. Now, the only reason to prevent getting picks is by healing people. So, therefore, I think Strategist is probably the strongest role in this game. Even with the ultimate nerfs coming up to Strategist ultimates, I still think they're going to be very strong, and having a very good strategist in your team is going to be detrimental to winning this game. Now, if you go over to my gold account, I was in bronze, silver, and gold. And the healers in these games, they weren't too good. I'm going to be honest, they weren't too good. It takes like 3 to 4 business days for me to get a heal. But guess what? My KDA is still amazing in all of these games. And why is that? Because I know how to position, because I played strategists, and I know where strategists position, so I know how to play for the strategists to get heals. If you're in DPS and you're dropping a lot of deaths, or even Vanguard, it is your fault because you're positioning wrong and you're playing too aggressive. Now, it's not all about kills, like I said. So obviously I'm abusing Storm here. Storm is very strong, and that's another tip. If you're in low elo and you want to rank up, play strong picks. It's that simple. Play strong picks. It'll help you learn the game because you'll learn how to counter the strong picks. I personally don't think Storm is that strong in high elo. I think people like Winter Soldier are better, and it all comes down to skill and knowledge and understanding about the game. Storm is obviously very good and a very consistent pick. But I think as you get higher elo, people learn how to counter her very easily. You don't even need to use an ultimate to counter her. You could literally use a cloak bubble, and it's not even that hard. But people in low elo, it's like a noob stomper champion. So if you want to rank up, play noob stomper champions. That's another little tip. But 2, learn strategist. Okay, tip number 2, learn strategist, and then you can go into DPS or tank. I think knowing strategist is really good because not only do you learn how to stay alive with positioning from strategist, because if strategists die a lot, the team's going to die a lot, and the team's constantly folding. You always know when there's calls, when there's comms, which is the 3rd point, you aim for the healers and then you fold the team. It's super simple. So if you can stay alive as healer, you're preventing your team from getting folded, and you can fold the enemy team. It's very simple when you think about it like that. Now, you got to learn how to play strategists, because when you learn how to play strategists, you are now teaching yourself, okay, it's actually really hard to heal your whole team and the DPS and the Psylocke in the backline and the freaking Iron Man in the sky and the Star-Lord that's ulting. You got to pocket the Star-Lord ulting, but also keep your Strange alive in the front line, or your Hulk that's jumping in. It's actually quite hard, okay? Playing support is hard. I don't care what anyone says. Support is harder than DPS, and it is more important than DPS. So if you really want to be the main character, play support. Maybe it's not as satisfying as like a pentakill or an again, but it is still super satisfying to know you are carrying the team through your strategic plays. That's why they called it strategist. Pretty sure they did that on purpose to make it seem cooler than healer, right? And it really is, okay? So learn how to play strategist, learn how hard it is to actually get heals, which will then teach you positioning on DPS to not be as aggressive, ping for a heal, wait to get healed, and then you can go back in. You need to be patient. Being impatient is a good way to die and a good way to have a bad KDA, and it is a good way to lose the game. Because you always know when you push up past the point, right, and you die, and your team's like, ah, shit, that was bad. And then they win a team fight, and now you're back to the losing. You don't have the upper hand anymore. I hope that made sense. But the comms leads into my 3rd point. My 3rd point is you want to have really good communication on your team. And usually this is in the form of an IGL, like an in-game leader. But if you don't have a stack, just someone giving out comms in voice chat. Now, in order to do this, it takes a little bit more expertise, and it's not really an instant fix, because giving comms is not always easy. Because one, if you're giving constant comms that are bad, you're just going to get called annoying. People are going to tell you to shut up, and they're not going to listen to you. But if you get good comms, people are going to get very high momentum in game. They're going to be very happy. They're going to be joking around in voice chat with you, and it's going to be a good overall experience in the game, right? So in order to differentiate between a bad comm and a good comm, you need to watch really good players. I know a really, really, really good healer, Kaiji or KG or something. He plays with Necros and Bogart and he carries them all the time. I watch him and I watch how he plays. That's how I learned positioning and learned how to play most strategists. And then what you got to do is listen to his team's comms, right? Learn why they're doing what they're doing and why they're saying what they're saying and why he's positioning where he's positioning and when and all that. Just learn it by asking questions while you watch them. And then once you have a good fundamental understanding of the game, you implement that in your own games. And I'm telling you, from bronze all the way up to freaking grandmaster, if you understand the game fundamentally, you can carry your team with the comms. Now that's like this game. For example, I had a Moon Knight, right? I'm taking these more recent games because they're kind of higher elo and they kind of show that people are still bad in high elo. High elo, it's not high elo, it's still like mid elo, but it shows that people are still really bad in Diamond 1, probably your goal rank, and that it doesn't ever really get better. Maybe when you get Celestial, everyone will be decent, but I'm sure a lot of people get auto-filled and then they still suck. So in this game, as you can see, we had a Moon Knight who had 10,000 less damage than our Star-Lord and less damage than all of our tanks combined. He had the most deaths on our team. He had half the last hits of our Star-Lord, which is okay on Moon Knight if you're doing like 10,000 more damage than Star-Lord. But considering he did 10,000 less damage than Star-Lord and had less last hits, and he played Moon Knight and Namor, I mean, this is a classic DPS one trick who plays Moon Knight and Namor, and they think they're good, but they're actually not, and they're just getting free elo from it, okay? Because this person was actually really bad. But we carried him. We lost the first point. I had to step it up. I started calming really, really hard and really, really getting the team together, even though I didn't like this guy at all. He was like shit talking the enemies and stuff. And in my head, I was like, dude, you are doing very bad right now. You have no room to talk. But, you know, I didn't bring the mood down. And instead, I used good shot calling to make really good plays, get the picks you need to get, and do what you need to do to win the game. That's my third point and why shot calling is so important, because you can turn a really bad game into a really good game. As you can see here, we picked the Luna quite a bit. I was always calling out Luna Snow, get Luna Snow on the right side. Don't just say get Luna Snow. For the comms, you got to say where the person is. You got to be very concise. If you're just yelling, it's not helpful. You have to be concise on where the target is that you need to kill. And you need to all focus them, because if you're all focusing them as a team, you have so much more elasticity and so much more like on the same page that you're doing like 5 to 6 times more damage against that target than if only 1 to 2 people were hitting them. And then if you're all 5 to 6 times more damage on that target, they're way more likely to die. And then you can fold the enemy team. So we were catching the Luna Snow quite a bit. We were catching the Thor and the Bucky quite a bit. And they would just dive the enemy team. Invisible Girl is very good against this because she can pull people out of position pretty easily. She can help in facilitating a lot of picks for your team to cause a lot of folds, and it was just super fun game. Now, obviously it would be easier if we had a decent DPS, but you know, sometimes you don't always get what you want. No need to complain. And this is where shot calling comes in, and you can carry any type of team through shot calling. Those are the 3 main points I have. To review, we can go over them really quick. The first point I had was have a good KDA. If you don't have a good KDA, then the game is most likely your fault, not your healer's fault. You need to learn how to position and play your role better. Second, learn how to play all the roles, most importantly, strategists. That way you can be on the same page as your strategists, understand the gameplay of your strategists, and be able to play DPS and tank efficiently with your team, so you're kind of flowing together like a wave, right? They talk about ebb and flow a lot in Overwatch, and that's like a perfect description for Marvel Rivals team fights. It's like an ebb and flow, the ebb and flow, and when you get a pick, you freaking flow, and when you get picked, you ebb backwards. You need to really understand that, and playing healer, I think, is the best way to really grasp that concept. And then 3, you need to learn the fundamentals of the game to make really good shot calling. And when you can do that, you can carry almost any team. Even in like Diamond 1 Elo, you can carry almost any team with good fundamental knowledge and shot calling. You got to be very, 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 very good at it though, or else you'll just be called annoying and no one's going to listen to you, and it may go bad from there. But yeah, I'm telling you, if you take those 3 things and you implement them, you will improve instantly. The fact that I went from bronze 3 to gold 2 in a single day, not dropping a loss, and it was like a 10-game win streak, and I didn't even play ever Overwatch before, and this is like one of my first hero shooters. It just shows that you can pick it up pretty well. You just got to be, willing to have fun, put in the time, watch some videos, do a little research, and yeah. Now I can do a tier list too on like who's the best for each rank and blah blah blah, but we don't have to get into that right now. It's going to be a whole nother video. So if you agree with me, let me know. If you don't agree with me, let me know. Look at all these MVPs. I don't care. I'm having a great time with this game. So let me know if you want a tier list, because it's kind of in depth. You can't just watch a random tier list because there's so many opinions out there, and there's different tier lists for different characters at different levels of skill. So for example, there's really easy level, like there's a high easy character that's really good and really consistent, but it falls off once you get to higher elo, because since they're easy, they're easily countered. And then there's really complicated characters that are really bad low elo, because you can't have a team play around you as well in low elo. It's just super complicated. So if you want a video going more in depth about that, let me know. I'm just making this because I love videos. I don't stream too much, but if you want to watch me stream, I could upload some streams or full gameplay, and I could stream live if you guys are liking it. But to be honest, I never really got many viewers, so there's no point for me streaming to like as a 1-2 viewer Andy with no one talking in the chat. So if you guys do like this and I end up somehow getting some support, then maybe I'll start streaming for you guys. I'll help you out live. Feel free. You could ask me questions, shit like that. Anyways, hope you have a good day and good luck in your grind.